live. It's trying. There it goes. Sweet. So it should populate. I'm going to just refresh my Facebook here and just make sure. Here it is. Good. Awesome. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Chiropractic Compass podcast and Facebook Lives. I'm your host, Johnny Reuter, and we're here with guest Dr. Chris Zaino, the beautiful and master Chris Zaino. How are you today, Doc?
Good, man. I was never actually ever complimented with beautiful before, but I'll take it.
I got you.
I'll take it, dude. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Absolutely. So Dr. Chris Zaino is a chiropractor in Houston, Texas, and he runs a huge practice, massive practice, and he also does a lot of work with mindset coaching, lifestyle coaching, and everything in between. So if you want to just give yourself a brief introduction, Dr. Zaino, and then we'll get started and dive into the topics here.
Yeah, awesome, man. 2005, opened up my practice here in the Woodlands, Texas. In 13 years, we've seen tens of thousands of patients, and having at one point, one of the largest volume clinics in the world, a cash, no insurance. And it's been really great, man. I just rather, let's just get into content versus my accolades.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
I want to give people some value. So.
Absolutely. I agree. So tell us a little bit about your hero project, what it means to you, where it came from, how the idea started, and what it means to other people.
Well, taking care of patients was great. And what the chiropractic principle is we're trying to allow that person to be the full version of their innate self, that the innate just doesn't, I realize that innate just doesn't control the physical health. Innate is giving you the great ideas. Innate's giving you the thought flashes. It's so much more than just physical. So I really just took this principle just on a higher level to the masses. And I noticed, like, even in practice, that's why I said I could tell you all my accolades, but if I told you all my accolades made me happy, they didn't. I was happy for a little bit, just like you achieve any goal. But as spiritual beings on a physical planet, we're always created to evolve and expand. And I found myself becoming numb, depressed, disengaged, burnout in the office. And I realized that I was just grieving my potential. That's what I was doing. Mm-hmm. And so then I just kind of went on my own journey and started the I Am Hero project. And through that, we've been resurrecting heroes out of the complacency of their secret identity. What's the secret identity? It's just the less than watered down version of your truth. It's you not living up to your optimal God-given potential. And it's really basically it's a protective mechanism or a subluxation, so to speak, that we did mentally. When we were being raised, we were told what to do and what to think. So we literally lived our lives according to the imposed values of other people in society and belief systems. And here, I found myself in my mid-30s waking up going, wow, holy smoke, like, who am I? Like, I didn't even – so a lot of times people, the relationship that is – the least developed is the one with themselves because they just live life pleasing everybody else. So when you're able to fully embrace who you are and go hero mode, like I say it, so you truly are able to express and experience true love now in the present time versus living some conditional life. So we've been helping thousands of people around the world with that. I still practice full time. I went back to practice full time. So yeah, I do it all, man. You could do it all. You could have everything you want if you really want it.
Absolutely. I love that. So would you say that people and even students, speaking to the students here, that we, how do we avoid burnout right away? We're going to come out of the gates, we're going to be hot on the stove, and we're going to be ready to rock and roll. How do you avoid burnout?
Well, the thing is, there's no such thing as burnout. The feeling that we would say is burnout is because you're not aligned with your truth anymore. So for me to be burnt out of my practice, it means that there was something about my operations day to day that I wasn't excited about anymore, and I wasn't aligned anymore. If I'm evolving and expanding, I can't really wear the same clothes anymore, right? So that burnout was just a heroic guidance system saying there's something bigger. So that burnout was grieving your potential, because if you and I, like right now, if we started doing something we enjoy doing, like you're doing your podcast, I'm doing the interview, I'll have way more energy at the end of this than before it.
Yeah.
So if you feel like you have to take a nap or you feel tired all the time, it's not because you need a nap, it's because you're not doing what you're aligned to doing. So use burnout as a symptom, as a warning signal, as a heroic guidance system to say, listen, you're not aligned with who you really are. You're not being honest with yourself. You're not aligned with your truth. You're not going after what you really deserve to be in. And so let all those feelings be contrasts that you're just not aligned with who you are. So when a student's coming out, you're burned out of school. You know why? Because you want to get out of school. You want to start a practice. You want to, apprentice somewhere. So you're burnt out at the end of school. It's not burnout. It's just like you're done with this deal.
Yeah.
Let's move on. So you're eager to move on. So of course you're feeling that near the end of school. And then when you start your first job, let's say you guys will be an associate. Maybe half will be an associate, and you'll be so excited. You'll be so pumped that you get a job at a doctor's office. And then in 6 months to 12 months, you're going to think your doctor's a dick, and you're going to think that you could do it better than he can or she can. Why? Because you're evolving out of it. You're ready to do your own thing. So it's like, I would hate for you to live a conditional life saying, once we get this or once I get that, I'll be happy. Just use those feelings as really a guidance that, hey, listen, it's time to move on. Even though you might not know what is next, it's time to expand.
Absolutely. I love that answer. So with the heroes and everything, you have a lot of family time, and you have time that you allot for everything in your life, because health and wealth mindset and really lifestyle is not something that is one thing, right? It's not just one thing. It's all encompassing. And I think you do a good job of not only sharing your personal life on social media, but also sharing, your family, your practice life, your workout life, your gym routines, things like that really bring people into who you are. Do you want to expand on that? And can it help chiropractors and future chiropractors be, better for their community because they know possibly more about the chiropractor themselves?
Well, yeah, I think you nailed it on the head. It's at the end of the day, this is what everybody coming out of school or every doctor needs to think about. Like when for a patient to come into your office or to be a patient of yours, this literally has to cross their mind. They literally tell themselves, that is the man or that is the woman that I want to lead my health and the health of my family. So they have to look at you, and it doesn't matter what you said, it doesn't matter how great your talk was or not. If they say, that is the person that I want to lead the health of my family and myself, then that's what they need. So I think being transparent is tremendous.
Yeah.
They need to know everything. Like, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be polished.
Absolutely.
You just got to be – that person just has to feel connection, and transparency could do that.
Yeah.
And so whether it be on social media, I think that's a great point, or just when you're talking to someone, you're just a real person. We could all read through the script. We could read through that. We could all see through, a facade. Mm-hmm. We could all sense someone's saying something they don't believe and they're incongruent in as well. So the thing is, like, that's why when listen, coming out of school, you're going to kind of be, because you're learning it through experience. But when you reach that point where you could just be you and really convey your truth and how you could help people, then there you go. So I never thought about it, but I definitely think social media will definitely help that when people are looking or following you and saying, hey, this person's a real person, or you live a lifestyle that people they admire and they want to emulate. That's
Absolutely.
Another one too.
Yeah. That's huge. So now a little bit back to the student. How do you put yourself back in your shoes when you were a student and coming out of college? What were the things that you did to set yourself up for success, and how rigorous were you, or how hard on yourself were you coming out of school to either get an associateship, get an apprenticeship, or open your own practice?
I apprenticed. That's the best thing you could do. So the last trimester, I went around to offices that practiced very similar to the way I would like to practice. And so we slept on the floor. We did whatever it took. And then we learned. We worked for free. We would help serve them. And in the essence of serving them, me sweeping the floor, I'm still able to see how they run their office. You follow what I'm saying?
That's a good point.
So I was able to collect things that were useful. I was able to discard things that I thought that could be better and make it more efficient. And then that's why I was able to open up and rock it right off the bat. So apprenticing is the most important thing you could do.
Absolutely.
I would go and just work for an office that's similar to the one you want to work at. So if you guys are coming out of school, you're like, crap, I just need a job, and you want to be a lifetime wellness family practice, and you go work for a PI clinic, you're doing yourself a disservice. You just don't get a job because if it's a paycheck.
Yeah.
Hold out until you get the job in an office that's very similar to the way you want to practice. And then as great as the job sounds, I give you 12 months. And in 12 months, you're going to realize, okay, it's going to be uncomfortable, but you're going to want to do your own thing. Mm-hmm. And then, boom, you go do your own thing.
Right. But you're learning, that whole entire time, taking what pieces you like, pieces you don't like, pieces you absolutely would never see yourself doing kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then you use that time to totally dismantle anything school has ever taught you. Yeah.
It's a good point. That's a good point.
You got to brainwash yourself out of it. It really is, because school school is there to serve a purpose of getting you a piece of paper.
Right.
And that's a lot of work. So you do what you got to do to get that piece of paper. That piece of paper allows you to get a license, and that license allows you to become an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So you just don't think because you have a degree and you put DC next to your name, nothing happens.
Right.
So until you become an entrepreneur. And so the best thing to do is Apprentice, see how other successful business owners are running their business.
Yeah.
See, I never learned that. And whatever they teach you in school is outdated. It's not up to date. And so now you realize, wow, this is how you run a business. This is the steps I do. I do this, I do that, I do this, I do that. Great. You want to take insurance? Great. You go from there. So I definitely think apprenticing is going to be there's nothing better, because you're actually getting advice and experience from a successful, workable, relevant situation. It's the best education you could ever have.
Right. And you're seeing it for yourself, unfold right in front of you. So there's no lies, there's no gimmicks, you see it. Yeah. That's a very good point. So speaking about the business, where did you learn the business? You got probably your favorite books, you got probably your favorite people to follow on social media. Where did you go to find resources to provide yourself with the success of business mindset that you have now?
It was modeling other offices for sure, and getting good coaching. So, I really think it's important that you join some type of coaching group, whichever one you want to do, because number one, it gamifies things. You have friendly competition. It creates that. It creates someone that's always above you, so you're always stretching. It creates a strong room. A strong room is you enter into a room and everybody's killing it or doing great, and you may not be. Subconsciously, without even trying, you're automatically going to get stretched and do better. So it's always good having the team. You feel part of a team. And in these coaching groups, what do? They talk about their favorites, right? Because they have to display their favorites or the successful ones so they could sell more of their programs.
Right.
I'm very raw and transparent behind the scenes.
I love it.
I call the good and the bad of the shit, but it's like, but it's very effective. I appreciate that, because if I'm sitting in the crowd and they're talking about, Bill, and Bill's doing great and this and that, it's like you're in the crowd going, damn it, I want some recognition. I want to be like Bill. I want to be on the stage. And so that drives you.
Yeah.
That drives you to do better, so it actually drives you to get the approval of the coach or the approval of your peers. But you know what? If that's what it takes to drive you to go out and hustle hard and create a great business to help people, then you know what? Leverage whatever it takes. So I really like that whole group. You're fighting for someone's approval. I know it sounds so ridiculous, but let me tell you, my greatest practice growth days is when I was in that setting, for sure.
Yeah. And
I realized it brought the best out of me. Friendly competition, group dynamic. I wanted the approval of the head coach. I wanted to go on stage and be admired and recognized. And when you can be honest with yourself, be like, wow, in that setting, it gamifies things, and it really becomes motivating and inspirational for you too, versus running your own race. Now, when you do learn that, then you could go back and run your own race for sure.
Right.
Because modeling in the beginning, guys, I'll tell you right now, I think modeling is great. Model those who are successful, that are doing what you want to do. And then later on, you're going to have to get rid of the modeling, because if you model too much, then you're still going to be a counterfeit version of somebody else, right? So you want to get to the point where modeling, even though successful, will still yield underdeveloped individuality. So you'll find yourself talking and acting like somebody else, and you'll still wake up in the mirror, look in the mirror, and not know who you are anymore. So, But right now it's in stages. Right now, modeling apprenticing would be great.
Yeah. I got a question from a comment here. Chelsea says, "What group are you specifically talking about, if any specific group?"
Oh, let's see some good groups out there. I mean, you got Elite Coaching with Dr. Fred is good. I heard the AMP guys are pretty good. They're really good guys. I know them. You got Max Living is good. And listen, by no means, if I did not mention you and you are in that group, I'm sorry. I just didn't have any experience with you. I apologize, but I'm sure you're good as well.
Yeah.
But I would say that those are good because there's something like, and there's that young, high energy dynamic, which is really, really, because when you come out of school, it's very easy to feel alone.
Right.
Because look what happened, guys. First grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, whoop, middle school, junior high, whoop, high school. What do I do now? Go to college. Okay, but. What do I go now? I'll go to chiropractic. See, like we were professional students for so long. Then all of a sudden it's like, sorry, we hit the end of the line.
Yeah.
And so now you actually go into and you're like, wow, like I'm kind of alone. What do I do? So it's always nice to have peers competition. It's just you keep like this fraternity or sorority-ish type of feel, but it at least does something much more beneficial to the world.
Absolutely. I love that. You're the first person to really speak truly on coaching groups and management groups and shine a very positive light on it, which I really appreciate because I don't think a lot of students look at coaching and management groups as in today's day and age as this, positive thing in chiropractic because some of them might come across predatory or come across as you have to do it our way or it's the highway and you're paying tons and thousands of dollars to be part of these organizations. But in the end, like you said, subconsciously, you're going to be sitting in the audience thinking, man, Bill, how come Bill's up there and I'm not, right? And that's a really good point. So subconsciously and bringing that to your conscious mind, so it's creating that competition, constantly improving yourself, constantly improving others around you. I think that's a really, really good point, Doc. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, and of course, go to these different, research and go to the ones that kind of, fit what you want, fit your vision as well. Like, you wouldn't catch me dead in a PI seminar doing personal injury. I don't do any of that. Right. So it's like that would totally suck, right? But it's like I wanted something that was seen families, lifetime care, cash based, fun, high volume, because I enjoyed the whole high volume thing. It was more rock star to me, right? So, but you don't have to do it if you want to do integrated. Let's say you're saying, hey, I want to do chiro, then I want to do stem cells, and I want to help people with neuropathy and knees. And you have like 5 businesses in a small 1,800 square foot office, and you're making a crap load and helping people. Yeah, go for it. I mean, it's like, so you got to find something that you're like, yeah, that's what I want to do. And then learn from everybody else who made mistakes and paid a lot more money before you and learn from them, and you're good to go.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so speaking on getting off the coaching topic now, how important is it to be able to communicate chiropractic, be able to speak to people not only in your community, but other chiropractors, other health professionals? Because I follow you on Facebook and Instagram. I see you doing a lot of public speaking. And how important is that for a chiropractor to be doing?
If you're a chiropractor and you're a doctor means teacher, there is no other option. You got to be able to thought lead someone exactly what the principle of chiropractic is. And watch this. I noticed I said the principle. Mm-hmm. Because the worst thing I feel you could do is walk in a group and say, hey, everybody, I'm a chiropractor. Because what that does is if there's 100 people in the room, automatically there's 100 different filters of what that person's experience of what a chiropractor is. So there's 100 different versions of chiropractor when you say that word that. But like BJ Palmer says, he says sell the principle. Yeah. So why don't you just talk about the principle, above, down, inside out? Talk about the principle that the innate intelligence that took you from 2 cells to 90 trillion cells in 70 trillion in 9 months. This wisdom that created every single organ in your body. It didn't go anywhere when you were born. It's still with you. It didn't come out with the placenta. And when you look at a baby and call that the miracle of life, people forget that they're still the miracle of life. Nothing happens between a baby and a human. We're just bigger babies. And when you're able to really convey, like, when they realize, like, crap, yeah, like, I cut my finger, it heals, but how come my heart disease isn't healing? Wow, there must be, the brain controls everything. Like, so when you make it so easy and so simple, that's how I build my practice, by doing dinner talks. I invite people to dinner. I tell the story. I tell what the principle is, and then they pay $97 to come in and get an exam.
Absolutely.
And they're already pre-qualified, and that's what I would do off the bat. Let's segue into that. If I was a student just coming out, I wouldn't do dinners like I do dinners, because how do I get dinners? My patients invite people to do dinners, and it's a requirement. You got to give me a list of names. By far, the easiest thing to do, you go get a bunch of fish bowls, all right? You put them in 20 different restaurants around your location, and you go to the restaurant and say this: hey, we're going to put a fish bowl in here. Everybody who puts a card in there, we'll be your marketing team. We'll call every single office that you put a card in there, and we're going to tell that office they're going to get a lunch on us. And we're going to actually pay you to cater the lunch. So it becomes the ultimate situation. It's a win-win-win situation.
Right.
It's a win for the restaurant, it's a win for the person who puts a card in, and it's a win for you. So the restaurant or the eatery will never deny making possibly a couple hundred, $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
You call someone at a workplace and they want a free lunch, they're pretty much going to take you up on that. And then it's your duty in 20 to 40 minutes to tell the principal, tell the story. And then after you're done and they start eating, go around and book appointments. And the main reason I'm going to tell you to do that, number one, it's cost effective. How cheap is that? But number two, when I do a dinner and I put a Facebook ad, when I run a $750 Facebook ad or a $1,000 Facebook ad that invites people to a dinner, and that dinner now is at a really nice Brazilian steakhouse, that might be $1,800 depending on how many people go to the dinner.
Right.
So automatically, look, we're looking at like I'm $2,800 in. But I know I could close, because here's the thing: is it possible that people could just be going to get a free dinner at a really nice Brazilian steakhouse?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could it be possible that people that go to that dinner don't have a job either? Yeah. Because they're getting right. But when you speak at someone's workplace, what's the chances they don't have a job?
Right.
What's the chances?
Zero.
Zero. So that you already know coming in, no one's going to tell you, I don't have a job.
Right.
Right. So number one, that pre-qualifies knowing that person has a job, because here's the deal, guys. They can't get care if they can't pay for the care. Mm-hmm. And we got to look at that maturely. Like, paid for care is just exchange. And I tell people, like, you paying for my care, nothing's going to happen. Like, you could write me a check, give me all the cash in the bag, nothing magical happens. Commitment is more important than your money. Mm-hmm. So when someone says, I don't know about the money, I'm like, whoa, time out. You could pay, it's not a money issue here, it's a commitment issue here. If you're committed to come in and do what needs to be done, then you'll get the results. Just paying me, nothing magical happens.
Right.
So when you realize and you tell someone, listen, money's like the third or fourth thing on the list, commitment's number one. Because it's your reputation on the line. Yeah. So if you start right, it's their health and your reputation. Yeah. So that's why that would be the ultimate thing I would do. But therefore, you need to get good at talking the message of chiropractic. Why wouldn't you? That's what you do. That's what you went to school for.
Absolutely.
I mean, unless you're just going to go to the joint and crack backs. And if you want to do that too, go ahead. But I just think you're going to feel numb. You're going to feel burnt out over time, because you're going to be grieving your potential. You're going to be knowing that you're not fulfilled.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to follow up. I know some coaching groups or whatever you work with, do you do questions at the end of Q&A, at the end of your dinners? I know some coaching groups are like, no questions, and then some coaching groups are like, yeah, mix and mingle a little bit and let them talk to you. What is your take on that?
Absolutely no questions. I'm done, because I end on the high point. The only reason why you mix and mingle is what? You're trying to validate who you are, you're trying to be needy, and you're trying to be friends with people. I'm trying to lead people to their health. It's not my health, it's theirs. Once I'm done, because when I do my talk, that is the best you're going to get of me. So every word I speak after good night or after I'll see you in the office, it lowers the urgency, it lowers the power of it. So I literally say that, I walk out the door, I say, bye, Carla. Go take care of them. I walk out the door of the restaurant. I'm in my car. I don't even stop. I just walk right out the door into my car and drive away. Because when you start going back, it's because you're needy. Okay. You're needy. Yep. Don't be needy. Do your thing and leave.
Interesting.
And then the great part is now when your team goes around and sets up the appointments, and someone has a question, they'll be like, hey, that's a really good question that the doctor will ask
you in the office. Absolutely.
Well, let's say you're a single practitioner. Let's say you open up your own practice, you're the only person. Yeah, you get to go around and you get to collect all the appointment sheets.
Yeah.
Or you do on your own. And you're going to hear the same 3, 4, 5 questions. Does my insurance take this? Do you take Medicare? I can't come in these days. You're going to hear the same thing over and over again, and you're just going to become really good at answering.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that segues into cash or insurance practice. And I know you said your cash practice.
Yeah.
How'd you get to cash practice? Did you start there? Or what would you recommend students to do when they're first coming out? Should they start cash or should they go both or what?
I started out with insurance, and insurance was really, really good. I mean, the mailman was like our best friend when he would come with checks and checks. And then I had two good friends of mine and mentors of mine, and they got audited really hard. And I remember it was 2 a.m. Me and about 8 other doctors are drinking Corona, making notes up for this person because they got audited. And even though they didn't have to pay as much back and the lawyer did his job, but it was still a good hit, the stress and the fear of the audit, none of them ever came back to who they were. Never. It's like it was such a blow that you just never recover fully 100% from that.
Yeah.
So I saw that. I'm like, I'm out. And I called a buddy of mine. I'm like, and I literally, like, it was a Tuesday. I'm like, what do you do? He's like, oh, we give him super bills. And that night it was all cash. And when I went all cash, part of me is like, well, I got to lower my price. I didn't. I actually raised it because I rose my price. Why? Because it forced me to raise my A game. When someone had great insurance, even 10 years ago, it's like, hey, your insurance covers this, so you just owe us $500. And you could pay in full or you could pay us monthly. Like, we'll pay you monthly. So it's like $5 a month, right?
Right.
So it's an easy sign up, right? But now when you're all cash, it's your A game. You gotta really bring and do you gotta practice. You gotta practice between performances, and you gotta really record your talks, record your videos, and really get them down. Because now you got to bring your A game. You can't get away with your B or C game anymore.
Yeah.
And then it really challenges you to become really, really good at what you do because you have to now. And I really like being put in that position. It sucks in the beginning, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But just like a muscle, you put that unique tension on it, it's going to just get better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so would you say that, with the cash, like, did you go you were like cut off? No more insurance. We're not taking it anymore.
Yeah. Boom.
Interesting. Okay, cool. Yeah. I like that mentality a lot, actually. But nowadays,
the worst thing is to be confused.
Yeah.
And go,
That's a good point. So you don't do you bill anything out of office or out of network or whatever you call it? No.
You just said, here's your super bill. We're out of network.
Absolutely. And so with cash, do you think it's an easier sell nowadays, not 10 years ago, nowadays, though, with high deductibles and everything like that? I think people are more, it's easy to tell somebody that it's going to cost this much and they're not even close to their deductible yet, so they don't even care paying out of pocket.
Yeah, and it's all mindset. If you think it's easier, just the fact that you're speaking, hey, isn't it easier? And I'll be like, yep, it is easier because you think that way.
Right.
But you could play the insurance game and you could be doing, workers' comp, personal injury, all these other things. And it's your job to really kind of work with that and know the insurance game to play it as well.
Yeah.
So it's all up to what you want to do. But to have a really fun practice where it's not a pain in the ass, cash is going to be the best way to go.
Absolutely.
Then you can have fun. You can really have fun with your patients. You're not worried about all the hoops, and you're not a slave to a company, knowing that company at any day could knock on your door and be like, hey, or actually they'll fax it to you. They'll fax you, I don't know, hey, we want to see these 60 files.
Yeah.
And then you're like, it's gambling. I totally won.
Yeah.
I made a ton from insurance, and I just, you know what? I took all my chips and I cashed them out.
I love it. I love it, Doc.
So I won. I got off the table.
Yeah. So while you're in practice, speaking for a chiropractor's standpoint now, I'm still a 10th quarter student at Life. So speaking from a chiropractor's standpoint, what are your thoughts on associates, hiring associates? When should you hire associates, and how do you hire?
I would first look for a coverage doc over an associate, just because, a lot of times what I notice is when I worked a couple less shifts, I got lazy,
Yeah.
because I knew someone else could do it. When I left for a couple weeks, I got dull. I wasn't sharp anymore. Like I got lazy. And then I was investing in these associates, and God bless them, but the investment of the associates still brought my practice down. So it was like an investment that was going backwards. So me going back, because a lot of doctors think, well, I want an associate so I could be free. And a lot of times we don't realize that the area that we have our greatest freedom is usually the area that becomes our greatest prison or chaos. And I'll give you an example. Someone who goes in your office that's obese and they have diabetes, because they really thought they were free to eat what they wanted.
Right.
And so because they didn't exercise, they thought they were free there, and they lived in this quote-unquote freedom. They didn't have discipline there. So what happened? That became their prison, where when someone's disciplined in eating and exercising, that discipline leads to true freedom. So thinking that you're going to be free, you're better off working your butt off and always being in that office and having someone that could cover for you, that you trust. So you could take your week vacation, 2-week vacation. But if you do make an associate hire, it is the only reason the associate does not perform the way you want it to, because it all comes down to you. No one's the doctor did not effectively train them correctly.
Absolutely.
I did it myself. Even though I thought I trained them, even though I gave them my videos, even though I gave them my programs, if the product is not turning out the way it should be, it is all because as much as you think you train them, there clearly wasn't proper communication or training in order to produce that. Everybody is coachable and everybody is trainable. The only reason why someone doesn't perform is because the person teaching or managing or administrating did not do their job correctly or did not communicate even though they thought they did. Yeah. So it takes your freedom. If you want an associate, you're trading adjusting for being wearing a magnifying glass and training them to the most specific thing. Meaning that you're listening, they're recording everything they do, and you're listening to everything. So you're trading, you're still working your butt off, but you can work your butt off on vacation, but you're still putting the hours. You can't trade those hours. So you're trading adjusting hours for training hours or listening to audio hours or critiquing hours. So you wind up, then you got to ask yourself, well, what do I want to be doing? Would I rather be adjusting, or would I rather be listening to hours of audio of my doctors trying to get up to speed?
Yeah.
And then you just got to make that decision.
Right.
But I will tell you, every chiropractor, they usually say their biggest pain in the ass or pain in the neck is associates. And I'm playing devil's advocate. But the thing is, it's not the associate's fault. Of course they want to leave you because they feel they're not getting trained or they're sufficient, or they don't feel like failing all the time because you weren't training them correctly. So it all comes back to the doctor's fault.
Absolutely.
How do I expect someone who just comes out of school to run a $2 million clinic?
Right.
Yeah, I thought I could. No, it didn't work out.
Yeah.
So then I came back, and there's just things that the doctor does intuitively that you can't teach. There's just certain things that experience only tells you what you need to do. But the doctor needs to know that if you think you're going to hire an associate and they're going to be a rock star, then you got to be looking to sell your practice to them or be sure that they're going to go and start their own. Because when students coming out of school, it's just your fear. Most everybody listening to this coming out of school, you can start your own practice coming out of school. And what happens, school and sometimes coaching companies make you feel that you might suck or you need all this help. And you do. But it's come on. You just to think that you're not good enough to start your practice. No, that's just not the case.
Yeah.
You could all do it. If you really wanted to, you got to do it. But when you decide to do it, there's no option B.
Yeah, right.
There's no, hey, I'm going to try it, and then I'm going to go. If not, I always have something to fall back on. It never works that way.
Yeah.
You got to just say, I'm doing this no matter what.
Right.
And then you do it. But I definitely think every person, every chiropractor deserves the right to have their own show.
Amen.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then try it out. Then you could say, you know what? I don't like all the stuff that comes with this. I would love to just go in, adjust, and go home and get a nice 6-figure salary.
Right.
Then you get to find out, but everybody deserves the right to own their own place.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say, so going off of the associateship and hiring an associate, what's your take on CAs? Probably the same thing, right? It's a reflection of the doctor.
Yeah. I got the one of the best. Absolutely. Instead of getting an associate, I actually hired, because I was when it comes to hire an associate, there's very limited chiropractors really graduating. But you can really find a really effective person who worked in the job field that's not a doctor And so you could really find a superstar CA for sure.
Yeah.
That might be even better than doctor. Because if I hire a CA who's been working since 15 years old, working with people at a school, and now they're 30, they have 15 years of people skills that a professional student doesn't have
Absolutely,
all the time, right? So don't underestimate hiring someone to do a lot of the clerical stuff and doctor stuff that they can do, whether it be, that they're allowed to do, whether it be, my CA does the day one. She shows the rehab. She opens the talks. She's great. She's really, really awesome. And, so I think it's the same thing, it comes to how you train them.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what I found CAs are easier to train because something with doctors, because of school, like we're constipated in the head and where you have someone who's fresh, it's like the Matrix. You just pour in and okay, got it, I'll do it. Like there's no belief systems that they developed or no poverty or scarcity mentality. What are people going to think? They don't take it personal. They're like, okay, this is my job, this is what I do, and they're on it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know you have to get running in the next couple minutes here. Yep. I got a question here for you. It says, how did you decide a location when you were first opening after your associateship? And by the way, are you in Houston right now, or are you in Utah?
I'm in Houston.
Okay.
I got a house in my kids' family. In,
awesome. Cool. I wasn't sure.
I moved out there, but I had to come back.
Mm-hmm.
When I tell everybody, where do you find a location? Well, first of all, find a place that you want to live. That's it. Practice aside. Where do you want to live? You want to live in Hawaii? Go to Hawaii. Then just find a place. Like for me, in the Woodlands here, you can only have a sign 3 foot high. So even the McDonald's sign is 3 foot high. So everything's covered. It's called the Woodlands. It's covered in trees. So, I had one walk-in my whole entire career. So, but if you realize I'm going to go out and get patients, then don't worry about it. You could be anywhere. It doesn't matter. Well, you got to be ground level. No, you could be anywhere you want. You just go out and get the people.
I love it. Awesome. So now we're going to end a little bit. Any action steps people can take? Students, doctors, doesn't matter. CAs, associates, doesn't matter. Any action steps, any last minute advice that you can give somebody who's going into chiropractic or is already in chiropractic?
Yeah, the most successful thing I did that made me the thing that made me the most successful, one of the most successful docs in the world was I listened to chiropractic philosophy audios every single day. It's in my car, it's in my headphones at the gym, and I brainwash myself in it. Because if I listen to people and they're all dead, so it's BJ Palmer and Sigafus and Fred Barge and Reggie Gold and Sid Williams and all the old DE guys, people who had their clinics burnt down that really had a fight. When you listen to them over and over and over again, you start thinking like them, you start talking like them. But the thing is, it has to be a daily thing. So if I told you all you have to do is just go to YouTube, rip a bunch of hours and listen to it all the time in the car, when you're working out every single day, and read, get your green books and stuff, or read some type of chiropractic philosophy book. When it's done every day, it compounds over time, and you really your certainty goes to the roof. You become extremely powerful. Yeah. So I know when I came back to the clinic here, so it's like, wow, I took almost a year off. I knew I was going to Houston, opened up my suitcase, took out my old MP3 player, put it in the car, switched it out on my iPhone from my headphones, dusted off some books that I know I got to read every morning, and I create that routine every single morning. You're like, well, listen, it's as cheap as you could get. It's not expensive,
right?
Especially when you rip the stuff from YouTube. But it makes your act super sharp. It keeps you again brainwashed, immersed, and excited about what you do, and that's the way you do it. It's like I just know the formula. That's Absolutely. What you have to do. Yeah. And you don't take off. Maybe Sundays, give yourself, I'll put regular music on, but it's just during the week. It's you always got to be constantly drilling yourself and listening to people and hearing their conviction, and then it definitely rubs off on you.
Yeah. And so speaking of that, to finish, how important is the principle, right? How important is the chiropractic philosophy to not only practice by but live by yourself?
Oh, it's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Be congruent. Yeah. Be congruent in everything you do. Like, I know when I speak, I'm 100% congruent. And then if it's something in the office that I don't do anymore, like if I don't do a certain rehab thing because I think it sucks, I don't have it. If I don't have it in the office. So everything has to be congruent.
Yeah.
Like if you got to talk about it. So my patients keep me congruent. I eat well because I have to tell my patients to eat well. Like I get adjusted because I know. So everything I know that if I'm not doing it, they're not going to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Doc, I want to just thank you so much for your time, for your abundance, mindset, and wealth through this profession. And really, thank you for just being on here with me. And thank you to the viewers who watched and who joined in, who commented, who liked it, who shared it, whatnot. Dr. Chris, I would love to have you on again, and I will be reaching out in the future for sure.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Let's do it again. This is good.
Absolutely, Doc. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful night, and I wish you luck tonight.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you.
Thank
God
you.
bless.
Bye now.